But look, let's get into the show. Loads and loads and loads to get into. It's going to be packed today. But we're going to start off talking about the North London derby. Some call it the NLD. I prefer North London derby. Shocking for Spurs. 4 points from 12. So much to unpack. Was it a foul by Gabriel? Technically understand why people think it was. I disagree. Should it have been a red card for Timber? We'll talk about that. But let's start at the very start. Ange Postecoglou against Arteta. We said on Friday, whoever loses this game, it would be a crisis. 4 points in 12 for Spurs is a mini crisis. Ange has come out polishing his trophy.
Yeah, and
his imaginary trophy.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been big Ange's biggest supporter on this podcast. People have called me a big Ange sympathiser. You said I'll wash his car. Well, his car's going to be dirty for the next couple of weeks. I'll put him up there for Pratt of the Week contender, which we'll get into later. But coming out with his post-match press conference at the end, his interview, just smacked of desperation.
He's coming out swinging.
A little bit. Hey, come
Not
on.
like that.
Come on, you little fucker.
He's happily married. Is he married? We don't know.
No,
We'll find out.
Come here, you fucker. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. With everything of the history of Spurs and all the stuff around them with trophies, coming out after a North London derby defeat where you should have played a lot better and saying that you're guaranteeing success in the second season. I mean, if he likes pressure, he'll thrive under that. But he's just adding so much unwanted pressure, and he's guaranteeing it, so he's got to live by his sword now.
Also, just a reminder, not that I wasn't listening to what you said, Man City's case starts today. Only you can set me free, 'cause we're guilty. Guilty as a club can be. Anyway, I'm just singing a random Banana Armour song. It's got nothing to do with the Man City case. But Martin O'Neill said on Friday that even if Man City are found guilty, Pep's still a GOAT. I've got something to say about that. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's talk about the North London derby. You know what? In relation to Ange, first of all, can I just shock you?
Yeah.
You already sat down. Ten Hag is always the victim of a massive pile-on, and having won at the weekend, bit of pressure on Liverpool, bit of pressure on Spurs. I'm actually going to shock you. Give me that sponge. I'll wash Ange's car, because I'm actually going to defend him a little bit. I think at the end of the day, some of the stuff that was said about him last week and what he said after the game is, look, they've still got the Carabao Cup, they've still got the FA Cup, and they've still got the Europa League. He's got 3 chances to win a trophy. I think Spurs have played quite well. They just can't put the ball in the back of them. They only lost 1-0, mate.
Yeah, but I also think the way it was set up, Arsenal let Spurs play. They let them have all of the ball, and like Arsenal still look more deadly going on the counter-attack than Spurs did with the ball. Like Solanke, like that one, the touches in and around the box, for the amount of money that you paid for being so slow, and just like you want them to be like critical and getting the shots off. I just thought they looked really good up until a point, but then just really passive and not actually that very threatening.
What do Spurs fans want? What are they moaning
just a
about?
bit more, just a bit more. Bit more Ange, a bit more. Come on, you can.
Yeah, but you can't be talking about Ange out or stuff like
No,
that.
I'm not saying Ange out.
Ange Poster no clue.
Yeah, nice. You just made that
No,
up.
I've nicked it.
Oh, sorry. That's very good.
Like most things. No, but it's a joke. It's like, look at the starting team yesterday. Yeah, Arsenal were definitely always going to play counter-attacking with no Odegaard and Rice. They were always going to be a threat from set pieces, and they score from it. Spurs, Ange, I couldn't believe it when he started the team. Really, only defensive midfielder was Bentancur. He's got Maddison and Kulusevski in a midfield 3. Then he's got Johnson, Son and Solanke. It's attacking, and they can't put the ball in the back of the net. It's like, you know what? If you get home tonight and your missus is there and she's got a bit of lingerie on and there's a bit of bloody Lionel Richie on and she's got a bit of jupe and she's got a champagne and a lovely dinner, you know, and there's a bit of you know what on the telly and the bed's got a bit of roses on and it's like, let's go. And you go, no, I'm off to do my accounts. Whose fault is that? No. And just set it up and they can't put the ball in the back of the net. Figuratively and actually.
Yeah,
He's had a go. It's not his fault.
You're on completely the other wavelength. He set the team up right. You basically identified the 2 things that Arsenal were doing: play on the counter and score from set pieces. We all knew that. So Big Ange has got to counter that, and he didn't. They weren't effective.
What part of the bus and take a draw?
No. But he's got to come up with a remedy to go against that, and he didn't. Like we all knew that that's the way they were going to play. And in and around the box, they were just absolutely honking. Like they didn't really create much very key chances. And then you mentioned all of that, but we're just talking about say Man United lose to Liverpool. Man City.
We just did.
Yeah. So Ten Hag comes out and he goes, I'll guarantee success in the 3rd season. Yeah. I guarantee another trophy.
What's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's not very well. But you'd be like, you don't need to say that now. We don't need more pressure on us. I don't know if he's trying to deflect pressure away from the players, but like,
but what's he going to do? You come out to me after a game.
But he doesn't need to say that.
You come out to me after a game and you offer up a loaded question. You know, you say you're going to win trophies. Are you going to win trophies? No. Oh, Ange Postecoglou.
But look, we've all the big thing labelled against managers and a lot of the press interviews these days that they are politicians. It's great that Big Ange is answering and he's been very good in these, but just bat that one away. You don't leave that one on the off stump there. You can just let that one go through to the wicket keeper. You don't need to come out trying to hit a six.
But we're also guilty of, seeing a quote, seeing an interview and jumping on him. He got jumped on last week and it went massively viral. I saw it from numerous people who jumped on Ange Postecoglou being asked about the Arsenal game and basically saying that, I'd hate to think there's players in my dressing room that value the win over this team more than anyone else. To which he gets absolutely piled on as an idiot again because they're going, oh, he should respect rivalry's this, rivalry that. Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho has a big part in Chelsea scoring the winner at the weekend to go above Man United. And Bruno Fernandes, the captain of Man United, is there going, great player, nice to see a smile on your face. So we're going to pretend rivalry exists and then we're not going to pretend rivalry exists. Ultimately, what Ange was doing there is, I agree with him. Last season, against bloody Man City, rivalry fucked up their Champions League. That's what rivalry did for Spurs last year. We can't let Man City win because Arsenal will win the title. So we don't end up in the Champions League. All right, Arsenal don't win the league. What he's saying is, I don't want to have players in the dressing room that get up for certain games because the downside of that, rivalry will make you not get up for the Man City game. So you get these absolute turbo prats going, oh, look at Ange. He's saying that playing against Bournemouth's the same as playing against Arsenal. No, what he's saying is, I don't want a dressing room that gets up for certain games because that has a downside of them not getting up for other games like they did last year. He wants a team that wins every week. He wants trophies. He's ambitious. I tell you what, if Ten Hag walked out of Man United, I'd pick Ange up tomorrow. I would.
What this
you spat on the table?
Yeah, I'll spit at you in a minute. That U-turn is what, like, everything. steady.
Like another pundit.
Yeah, steady. That
calm down.
That is a big U-turn from you, from everything about Big Ange you've said over the last 18 months.
I know, but I you know what? I'm a people person, and I don't like people who get bullied and victimised. And also, I think he is.
But you're speaking about something from last week. I'm speaking about this interview after the North London derby. I want you
as a friend.
Why?
Well, you've been washing his car for 12 months and now you're throwing him under the bus when he needs you. When I needed a neighbour, were you there? Was he bollocks? He's thinking about Wrexham and Tom Brady.
Exactly, yeah, I'll stab anyone in the back. And I think that a Big Ange just needs to realise the situation he's in. Calm down a little bit.
What Spurs? What is Spurs?
Exactly. Well, it's a question he needs to answer.
What are Spurs over the last 10 years? What is it they think's going on? He's put 5 attackers in a team to try and beat the second best team in the league. You've lost 1-0 from a set piece because your keeper's no good on set pieces. There's probably been a bit of a shove, to be fair. There could have been a red card. It was a brilliant performance from Arsenal.
But what did they offer?
I think 1-0 was the right result. But in the final third, Spurs against Leicester and Newcastle, Spurs could easily have 10 points like Newcastle. They've got 4. They need to but I tell you what, someone's going to have their pants pulled down and have a right good spank soon.
There's a lot of sexual references this morning.
Spurs are going to spank someone soon.
Don't look at me when you say that. It was absolutely horrible.
No, but I just think, you know what, with Ange, again, another foreign coach, people taking the piss out of them.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, you know I'm right.
Absolutely.
You know I'm right. Yeah.
If anything, up until the last 2 weeks, it's been all the other way. Oh, the media darling, Ange Postecoglou. Oh, everyone loves Big Ange. Oh, Ange is at it very good. And I think Ange is a great manager going forward. Pratt of the Week is Pratt of the Week for this week because the context is he's come out and he said what he said. And if you're a fan, after losing the derby, when you've got a good opportunity to go out and win or get a positive result, I just don't think that's on.
Talk about Pratt of the Week. What wasn't going to get brought in here, but let's do this because we've been to acting school to play this out because this is one of our contenders for Pratt of the Week. Do you want to be Jamie O'Hara or do you want to be the person who replies?
I'll be the person that replies.
Okay, so this is Jamie O'Hara, ex-Spurs player, talking about Spurs. Give me Aaron Lennon, Tom Huddleston, Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe, Van der Vaart, or any of these any day of the week, we sign players from Bournemouth, Burnley, Leeds and Forest, then expect championship results. Spurs head gone.
And then HLTCO replies saying, you signed Defoe from West Ham whilst they were in the Championship, Lennon from Leeds whilst they were in the Championship, and Huddleston from Derby whilst they were in the Championship.
Yeah, but they were decent. Yeah, your acting probably didn't get it as good as mine, but ultimately, Jamie O'Hara coming out slagging off all these players, comparing them to other players who were also bought from the Championship, and that's what I mean. It's just this melodramatic reaction. I would say to Spurs fans, as an outsider looking in, you've got exactly the right manager with exactly the right ambitions and exactly... I mean, he was pissed. I can't... You know, when he fell out with the Spurs fans after the Man City game, you got to go Team Ange. He was pissed off because you lot wanted to lose. He wants to win. The conflict within Spurs is because Ange doesn't want you to be bottlers anymore. He wants you to win every week.
Yeah, I agree.
But talking about what's going wrong with Spurs, last time I checked, you didn't finish in the top 4. Last time I checked, you weren't a title contender. Last time I checked, your football was shit under Jose, Conte and Nuno. You're actually a decent footballing side now. I think you should be clinging on to him for dear life. I really, really do.
Well, it's quite interesting, but I'm not saying that one performance turns Big Ange into a bad manager. I'm just saying it for this context. Like, I'm not saying Pratt of the year, Pratt of the decade, Pratt of the century. I'm just saying you were a Pratt for doing this. But I think with everything that we were talking about on Friday, just the pressure mounting a little bit within the club, but then the backdrop to that being Big Ange has been to Yokohama Marinos. He's done this at Celtic. And Flav was speaking about it, about it takes the second season sometimes for his team to come round, and he has the same criticism every time. You press too high, you haven't got a plan B, blah, blah, blah. He's had this everywhere. So I do think it will still come good, but I don't think you help yourself by saying you're going to win in the second season.
Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.